A lot of people ask me, why did you open up a makeup artistry school? Why are you in education? Makeup artists, why do they need education? And I say, because you shouldn't have to learn how to be great by working on a first-time client. You shouldn't have to make your mistakes by working on clients. You need to go to school, make those mistakes in school, learn how to overcome those mistakes and be better. But then you can go out in the world and be better and hone your skills. But you shouldn't have to make mistakes on first-time clients. That's not how you learn, right? Do doctors go do heart surgery and let me do your heart? You know what I mean? So I know it's a little different, but at the same time, this is our passion, our career path, and so we deserve education as well.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Accredited Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives, just like you, on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Accredited Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join us in the Facebook community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, let's get social. Follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it, we are there. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I appreciate it more than you know. And I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe, or something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. Additionally, Friends in Beauty is now on Patreon. So for as little as $3 a month, you can support the Friends in Beauty podcast. And there are also several tiers available that unlock Patreon exclusive content just for you, like behind the scene content of the Friends in Beauty podcast, bonus interview clips, a monthly Ask Me Anything, discounts, and so much more. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll leave the link down below in the show description for that as well. Also, if you'd like to stay connected even further, join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe. They are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different resources and tips throughout the week. So if that's something that you're interested in, join us over there. And last but not least, listen up. The most important thing is to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. Now, on this episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome Lissette Waugh, the founder of the Elle Makeup Institute, to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. Elle Makeup Institute opened to students in 2010 as a destination program that elevates beyond the typical cosmetology school into a unique and highly sought-after learning institute. Distinct from cosmetology school programs which focus on teaching hair, skin, and nails, the Elle Makeup Institute exclusively teaches the art and science of makeup artistry and offers programs in all styles of makeup. Elle Makeup Institute is one of the few makeup school programs in the country that is accredited through the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges and meets the strict industry standards for makeup artistry and special effects, which means graduates of the program are ready to enter professions immediately. And with a robust job placement and graduate services program, Elle Makeup Institute opens doors for graduates, leading to exciting opportunities in some of the biggest industries in the world, including fashion, film, and television. Since 2010, Elle Makeup Institute has opened a second makeup school in Dallas, Texas, a beautifully appointed campus featuring 10 separate training classrooms, a special effects lab, and a photography studio. Elle Makeup Institute has graduated over 1,000 students that have gone on to careers and work such as the Grammys, Latin Grammys, One Drop, CMAs, Billboard Awards, resident Cirque makeup artists, top magazine covers, and so much more. As a fellow educator, I was so excited to talk to Lissette and learn all of the ins and outs of the Elle Makeup Institute. In this interview, Lissette shares what inspired her to open Elle Makeup Institute and the evolution of the school since 2010, how she strategically developed the curriculum to yield the best results, the importance of being a professionally taught makeup artist, the lifestyle of a celebrity makeup artist, the demeanor and character traits that must be carried as a makeup artist, the biggest misconceptions students have before entering the beauty industry, what new makeup artists should be focused on business-wise, and so much more. This was such an awesome conversation with Lissette, and she has so many amazing and exciting things coming up. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And if you prefer to watch our beautiful faces, then tune in on YouTube. Enjoy. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, Lissette.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. When your representatives, I guess, reached out to me and I saw what you did, I knew I absolutely had to have you on the podcast because I love education. I especially love makeup education. So I'm excited to learn more about you and learn more about Elle Makeup Institute. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it for sure.
Yay.
Yes, so we're going to start off with some icebreakers so the Friends of Beauty audience can get to know you a little bit outside of the world of beauty.
Okay.
So first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
Okay, probably the first fact would be that I'm Cuban. I was born in Cuba. A lot of people always wonder what nationality I am. So I guess that would be the first one.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm a grandma. So I have 2 granddaughters.
Okay.
Third one, let's see, I love to cook. I'm a cooking fiend, so I love to cook. Love being at home with the family. I love cooking for guests. So definitely a foodie.
Okay. What do your grandkids call you?
Mima.
Mima. Okay. I like that because we have a lot of grandmas now and Gmas and all of these things.
I know. So I settled on Mima. I was like, okay, it's not grandma and it's not grandma, but Mima is kind of cool. So I'm going to go with that.
I like that. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
Ooh, I would say fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I love to sew. That's another fact. Originally, when I was growing up, I wanted to go to fashion school, and that was my first passion. And
okay.
So, yeah, I would say that's the big compliment I always get.
Okay, I like that. So I have these things called pod decks, and they have these random questions in them. It's a little beat up now, but I have a would you rather deck and a what the heck. Which one do you want?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. Would you rather or what the heck? I'm gonna say would you rather.
Would you rather? Okay. Let's see what question you get today. Sometimes the questions are kind of weird and crazy, so I have to warn people because I didn't come up with them myself. So let's see. Oh, this is cute. Okay. Would you rather have your face printed on money or your own small town named in your honor?
Ooh, I'm gonna say just print it on money because it goes everywhere. It gets in everyone's hands. So I'm gonna say face printed on money.
I like that one. That would be so cool to have your face on money because then everybody would know who you are.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I feel like, yeah, that says a lot.
Maybe you could create your own currency for your school and have your face on it.
Well, we do have our own currency, which is kind of funny, but it doesn't have my face on it. So that gives me a really good idea.
I love that.
Yeah.
If you could give a piece of advice to maybe 20-year-old Lissette, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to, and I'm sure this is so common and a cliche, to really just follow your dreams regardless of if you have the support or not, because you have to believe in yourself no matter how difficult things get.
Yeah.
And so I would say that to my young self, because I think when I was younger, I didn't have the support. My parents were a lot older, had me very late. And so they didn't really understand the interest that I had as far as like beauty and fashion. And so it's hard when you don't have the support from the people you love. And so that's not everything. You do find support from people, but sometimes it doesn't have to be those close to you. Sometimes you just have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just think I would tell that to myself, like, don't worry, you can still do this. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things they don't understand until you do it because it's so new to them. I think my mom and like some family members and friends were the same way with me. You want to be a makeup artist, but they don't know everything that goes into the industry and how you can be successful with it. So it's just like you got to educate them.
Yeah, it is. And I hear this from, a lot of our students and prospective students. I think, they don't have the support of their family, especially from some of the cultures that kind of frown down on the beauty industry. And so you second guess yourself because these are the people that are supposed to guide you. You believe in that know better, right? They have wisdom. But it's not always the truth. So sometimes you just kind of have to follow your heart and just oversee that. Yeah.
Absolutely. When is the last time that you did something for the first time?
Well, for the first time, I am formulating my own brush cleanser.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so this has been my first dive into it this year, and my gosh, it is not easy to formulate something from scratch. There is a lot of hoops and a lot of, I don't know, there's just so much stuff that goes into it that's involved with it, every aspect of it. So this is my first time doing that. I love it. I love the scientific side of it, but it's definitely not easy. So kudos to all those people that have their own lines. I'm like, yes, because it is hard work.
Yeah. Have you gone through different iterations of it? Like how many different, I guess, variations have you tried out so far?
Well, I would say I actually went through 3 different chemists. And so let's start with that, because you start with one and then there's a lot of dishonest people out there. They don't want to, there's just a lot that goes along with it. You want to be protected. You want to make sure that they can't recreate it and, use your formula again. So there's just a lot of that goes along with it. And then there's the fun part of it, where you get to like mix and create and, test it and retest it. And so there's a lot of love and passion that goes into it. I'll say that.
Okay. And if you were a makeup artist and the founder of L Makeup Institute, what else could you see yourself doing? Do you have any other passions?
I would definitely have my own clothing line. I love to sew and I love to design. And so I think that would be my fallback.
Okay. I love that. So you grew up as a creative, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. Growing up in a Latin household, my family they loved makeup. And my parents, my dad loved beauty pageants and my sister was in a pageant. And so I was surrounded by that, and watching the Spanish channel, these women were so glamorous. And so I think definitely those influences helped, drive my artistic, talents. Yeah,
for sure. Okay. So when you're in a room of other professionals now, just different business owners, like how do you normally introduce yourself now?
it's so funny. I just, I introduce myself humbly. My name is Lissette, and if we get a little bit beyond that, then as a makeup artist and just a person who's passionate and is a makeup school owner and in education. I really now always say I'm in education. I'm in the education side of it, and I love it. Yeah.
How many years have you been in the industry?
Well, I would say over 25 years. I'm 51 now. So yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
But I'm over here like, she said 25 years. I'm over here trying to do the math. Like, how? Wow. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my God. So how did this start? Like, how did your interest in makeup in particular start and like blossom into being a makeup artist?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I always had an interest in the makeup field. Originally, I loved fashion, but that didn't work out because I didn't have the support from my parents. So I started out actually with my esthetician license.
Okay.
Um, in the state that I lived in at the time in Las Vegas, you had to have a license to be a makeup artist. And so I kind of started there. Um, when I was coming up in the industry, makeup artistry was still not that big.
Okay.
Film production, always important, but as far as freelance, wasn't that big. So I started there. I started actually in the bridal industry. And that's where people really made sure that they had a budget, budget allocated for makeup, right? And so I started there. I think that's where I got my start, having a lot of brides come in, and my passion just grew from there, and I started to build my clientele.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started there. And then from there, I was recruited by Laurent Dufour, who is a celebrity hairstylist in Beverly Hills. So he came to Las Vegas and was opening up a salon at the Wynn there. And Elaine Wynn also was somebody who approached me. So between them two, I auditioned for him and got hired there and became their makeup director there. And so it just kind of took off. I've also worked in every aspect of makeup artistry.
Mm-hmm.
I worked the retail side of it when I was younger.
Okay.
I've worked the management side of it. I've worked the freelance side of it. So I've kind of worked every aspect of it. But I started off just as a self-taught freelance makeup artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you go about building a name for yourself or your business, building your business prior to social media?
Yeah, a great question. Just doing the groundwork, networking, having business cards. The more people you do, word of mouth is everything. Back in those days, I tell my students all the time, I would say Friday and Saturday, I'm going out and I'm going to go out and hand out cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so every week I would make sure that I would go out and try and get business for myself. And that's how it started. That's just really what I would do to get those clients. I wish I would have had social media.
Right. It's so different now.
It really is. But I believe everything happens for a reason, so, it's sad. I always wonder what would have happened back then if we had social. Girl, we didn't even have cell phones. Okay.
Right. I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm that old too. Before cell phones, I don't know what we were doing.
No, I can't even imagine. No, I'm like, you had to drive everywhere. It's like you just show up. If the person isn't there, your client doesn't show up, well, hey, you just pack your stuff up and go.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say I did a lot of celebrities, in Las Vegas. So by word of mouth, by working with a celebrity hairstylist, he, trusted in my talent enough. And I had the opportunity to work with him and do a lot of his clients, which was really nice.
Nice. Are business cards dead, or you think that people should still, keep a few on them?
I love that question. I think that a little bit of both. I'm like 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like cards, some people don't. I mean, now you just text your information to personally, I hate having cards in my wallet. So I'm just gonna say that, right? So I guess I'm gonna have to sway now. I'm changing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that it's better to just send your info to somebody, and that's the best way because now it's in their phone.
Yeah, most time I'm like, I have social media, and I tell people I'm trying to save the environment and be conscious. Like I don't carry around cards.
It's actually really smart because they are so expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a little bit of foil, a little bit of gold, forget it.
Yeah, the price is automatically going through.
Up. It is up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people when they get into makeup, they see the glamorous side of being a celebrity makeup artist. They just automatically want to go to that. But what is like the realistic lifestyle of being a celebrity artist, like the demand of it or the pros and cons of doing it?
I think for me, it wasn't setting up, it wasn't, traveling. The hardest thing I think when it comes to celebrities is dealing with their moods
Mhm.
and their personalities. I think you have to really be professional and have an understanding of how to be supportive in a quiet way and also be able to do their makeup because you deal with a lot of different situations. I would never name any names, but I dealt with, some not so great attitudes from some celebrities. I dealt with celebrities that don't get off their phone, who do 10 things at one time. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And you just have to know how to deal with that. So then they ask you to come back and you get to do them repeatedly.
Mhm.
So I think that's the hardest thing is just knowing how to act professional and deal with their personalities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So when did you venture into education? Were you doing your own classes or anything?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think as I got older, and I'm going to say as after I had children, after I had my second son, I thought I want to spend more time with my kids. And it's hard for me to get education living in Las Vegas at the time. There wasn't a lot of education. I know that that's the same situation for, a lot of different states. There's not a lot of education. If you want education, you got to go to California.
Yeah.
If you want education, you got to go to New York. At that time, it was limited. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so with any other career, I think that you need education.
Mhm.
It's nice to go get some guidance. It's not only about technique, it's about everything else that goes along with it too. And so I just started small. I started with 1 week workshops
Okay.
and I started by myself and I started in the arts district in Las Vegas. And honestly, it just organically grew.
Okay.
There was a need for it and it just grew. And as it grew, we realized that, people, I think it was a financial issue. So then we became accredited and were able to offer financing for people. But that's how you start. You just got to start. You got to want it and you got to put it out there and you just got to keep doing it.
Yeah. What was that process like for opening up L Makeup Institute? Was it daunting? Were you a little bit scared to offer it on that big scale like that?
It was because I think the most daunting thing about opening up a school or providing any education is that you have these people that rely on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, okay, I have to now get these people jobs.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a big responsibility. I have a responsibility to teach them a career path, a career.
Mhm.
And so I think that's what weighed really heavy on me to want to make sure that what I was providing was the best service and the best education that I could. Yeah.
How were you able to leverage, I guess, the relationships that you built in the industry over the years in opening up your own institute?
Well, I think that's a good question. I think that I've been able to leverage them to help me with, like, for example, I think Makeup Forever was like a really big supporter.
Mm-hmm.
They're such a big company, but when I was starting out, I was like, you know what? I need makeup kits. I know this is crazy, but I'm just gonna call them. And I just like figured out how to get to corporate. Somehow I found a loophole
Yeah.
and got in contact with the right person. And they provided me with so much support
Mm-hmm.
and so much product and help. And so, and Krylon too. So all of these companies that as an artist I used
Mm-hmm.
supported my growth, for education and to provide that education. And I think that will always stick with me for I'm so grateful to those companies. So that just shows that if you really want something, there are people out there that would help you. Yeah.
Absolutely. When you first opened, did you have all of the different specialties that you have now, or like what was your first main focus when you opened the school?
Oh gosh, no. I started with just beauty.
Okay.
Beauty is my heart and soul. As much as I love special effects, it was something that we evolved into as much as I love airbrush, it's something that we evolved into.
Mhm.
I think just being in the education field, growing, teaching, learning, you evolve every year. You've got to be able to offer your students what they need to know to be successful in the industry. So as we grew, that program, the program that I offered evolved.
Yeah.
And so now we're offering, we just recently, this last year, added onset hairstyling. And so, we have the beauty, airbrush and body painting, special effects makeup, and now onset hairstyling.
Yeah, that's
So, yeah.
Are these different programs that people can choose from, like their focus, or is it something that's just offered all together and they can just learn a little bit of everything?
It is all together. So
Okay.
you have one program that has special effects and one that doesn't.
Uh-huh.
So it's all these courses combined to make a well-rounded program to ensure that that graduate becomes successful in the industry.
I love that because I went to makeup school, but I want, like, how long is your program?
It's 9 months. So yes, right. Yeah, asking 9 months.
That is amazing. So the one that I went to was at a cosmetology school, because I know that was a thing that I saw is if there are makeup programs, they're learning like in cosmetology school, or the school that I went to, it's only a 6-week program, but it's like focused on makeup in particular. And then that's it. But 9 months, I absolutely love that.
Yeah. And did you enjoy your experience?
I did. I enjoyed my experience, but I still did go out and, continue to take classes and, educate myself that way, networking, all of that stuff. But I enjoyed my experience. I definitely was not the strongest student in the class. I joke and I tell people all the time. I used to go in the bathroom and have like meltdowns and be crying because I couldn't get it right. But
You're
now
that one.
I'm that one. I'm definitely that person, but now I know it's a thing that, it takes time to build up the skill set and everything like that. But I enjoyed my experience.
But wait, it's probably because it's not easy. People think going to makeup school is easy.
It's not.
It is not easy. So you're having a meltdown with good reason because you care.
Yeah.
You care. And sometimes these students just, you have bad days. And we all have those bad days. And so, yeah, I mean, we definitely, challenge our students. And they're going to have, and I tell them, like, if you're going to cry and break down, it's going to happen here.
Yeah. Not in front of the client.
And I'll tell you what, and this is, a lot of people ask me, why did you open up a makeup artistry school? Why are you in education, makeup artists? Why do they need education? And I say, because you shouldn't have to learn how to be great by working on a first-time client.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to make your mistakes by working on clients. You need to go to school, make those mistakes in school, learn how to overcome those mistakes and be better.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can go out in the world and be better and hone your skills. But you shouldn't have to make the mistakes on first-time clients. That's not how you learn, right? Do doctors go like do heart surgery and like, oh, let me do your heart. Let me just, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I know it's a little different, but at the same time, this is our passion, our career path. And so we deserve education as well.
Yes, absolutely. How did you go about developing your curriculum? I know you're very intentional on it being like the visual, the auditory, and the
Yes.
yeah. So how did you go about developing your program in a way where people learn differently? Because I had the opportunity to teach at the school some years later that I went to, and I realized people learn different ways. So how did you develop your curriculum?
Well, I started off by just having a structure and a guideline. And I think through teaching, I learned by making mistakes. Obviously, you're going to evolve. One of the things that really has helped me a lot is I have something called Pac Meetings. They're Pac advisory committees. And I ask professionals in the industry if they're agency owners, if they are employers like Mac managers, Sephora managers, production. I get this roundtable of people and I ask them, what is it that you're looking for when you're hiring a makeup artist?
Mm-hmm.
And, getting around with these people, getting in a round table with these people really helps you to develop that. So that helps me develop my curriculum.
Yeah.
But it's also just being a makeup artist and the experiences that I've had, and learning just from the students and what they need. And so all of that mixed together is really what's helped me develop a really strong curriculum.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just very aware when it comes to what students need, what I need to do to make it better. And like you mentioned, what you said is perfect, is that we're not all the same types of learners. And so, there's a visionary, auditory, and kinesthetic. So I've really worked hard to develop my curriculum to support that. And it's been very, very helpful with all the different types of learners. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how did you develop the standard that you want your instructors to uphold with, the mission that you have for your school? Like, how do you choose those people and instill in them like the standards that you want them to uphold for your students?
Yeah, that's another good question. It's just, there is no school for instructors. And so we put them through rigorous training. I mean, we audition them, so first I need to see that talent is there, that they have an understanding. And then we do put them through teaching methodology, which is learning how to work with students and different types of students and behaviors and that type of thing, how to keep the class exciting and fun. And so this is all a part of teaching methodology. And then we go through rigorous training through the curriculum on all the techniques. So it doesn't matter what teacher you have, for beauty, they're all going to be teaching you the same curriculum.
Right.
They're not going to be teaching you their own, kind of looks or whatever. So there's a structure to everything. You're graded on everything. And so they do go through a lot of training.
Yeah. Are you in the classroom too? Do you teach?
Not now. I was originally, I taught, did everything. I did admissions, I taught the students, I did the tours, everything. But eventually, I've been taken away from that. Now I really train the instructors. And so I'm the education director, and I'm trying now to focus on creating a textbook and all that kind of fun stuff.
That's exciting. A textbook. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Have you ever, to your knowledge, have you ever had a student who just could not grasp like the skill set? Like, if so, like, how did you handle it?
Oh yeah. Makeup artistry is not meant for everybody. I've had people enroll and quit the next week.
Oh, yeah.
Because they thought, oh, this is going to be so much fun. I like makeup. But I'll tell you what, to attend our school, you do have to apply. And in that application process, there is an audition process to it. So you do have to submit photos. I ask you to recreate looks. You have to turn in letters of recommendation. You have to answer a series of questions related to your career path. And so you do have to submit that and be accepted.
Okay.
So that helps me kind of, weed out those people that aren't really passionate, because you have to be passionate to be a makeup artist.
Yeah.
You can't just start and think it's going to be fun and rosy. It is fun, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of work that goes along with it. So there's also students that end up just dropping out because the commitment, we do have an 80% attendance rate that you have to make. So that means you have to be here a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, we do have students that fall off the map that way, but I'm okay with that. So I'm like, it's not meant for everybody. I just think that those that can take it and handle it and passionate are going to make it, and those that don't, it's okay.
Yeah.
So you just got to do some self reflection and just see, like, is this for me or not? And that's okay. Some people, it's just not for them.
Yeah, because I asked that question because I've only come across like maybe one student that I had before that I was like, if I could just get her to do a brow or just something good before she leaves, because it would be, trying to find an example. Like, I would tell her to pick up this brush right here, and she would pick up this brush. It would be like totally different. So I have a sister that's a teacher, and she would give me tips on how to like deal with, different types of, students and everything. She's like, maybe you need to ask her to repeat to you what you told her to do, because it would be like night and day. I'm like, what's going on? Like, everybody else is picking up this brush, and here she is with this one. So I'm like, okay, I had to work with her a little bit more, but it was very interesting.
That is so hard because we do have those students, and what we do is we'll like have them tape up a step by step, right? So they can refer to it, and they'll still not follow the step by step. And so what's so sad about that is that at that point, you've done everything that you can, but that this student may be dealing with some other issues.
Yeah.
And so you try and have that conversation. I know my instructors, I'll try and guide them to have that conversation. But if they're not willing to accept that and see that and want to go get help for that, then there's nothing you can do at all.
Right. And that was the thing about her too. She was the first person to come to class during our sessions, the last person to leave. She never missed a class ever. Like, she was committed. Yeah. So I'm like, I really want to help her do something, but it was just hard.
I know. So you try and have that conversation and just hope that maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just like a light will go off and maybe they'll get it. But I know, that's for them to go through. We can't judge, and we can't be that person to say this isn't for you. They have to make that decision.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love too is that you do job placement for your students. What are some of the jobs that they have been able to get after leaving Elle Makeup Institute?
The most popular job is a lot of the artists are working for agencies.
Oh, good.
So yeah, in Las Vegas, there's a lot of agencies, the entertainment world out there, and events and stuff. So they're so busy out there. Here, it's a little different, in Texas where I'm at. A lot of them are starting out in retail and a lot more in production, I will say, and theater.
Okay. Yeah, theater.
Yeah. So we have great relationships with a lot of these employers, Sephora, MAC, some of the production companies, some of the agencies. We have a great relationship with a special effects company out here, and they'll call us and they'll be like, we need some artists. Can you refer some artists? And the other thing that we do is that we do have our own kind of, what would I call it? It's like online where we're
like a directory.
Yeah, it's kind of like a directory where students, once they graduate, we create a profile for them, and employers can go there and look at all of our artists that have graduated.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, aside from, I guess, the trial and error that happens in the classroom, why do you think it's important for makeup artists to be professionally trained and not get their certificate from YouTube University?
Oh, yeah, because I think that you have to work on real life people, different faces, different shapes. You have to really do hands-on. I think it's so hard because all of these Instagrammers, TikTokers, people who do their own makeup are the same people that inspired a lot of the artists that come to our school. So it's a beautiful thing, but there's so much more than just that to makeup artistry. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to learn how to work on different skin tones and ages. Once you've accomplished that, then working on anybody else is easy. But you've got to first experience that.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it hard to get accredited? Is that like a whole process?
Oh, yes. It is a very hard process. It was like a 3-year process for us. Not only is it financially hard, but it's also just hard because you have to offer a certain amount of hours to your students. You have to be open consistently for so long. You have to be able to enroll students without being able to offer them funding. So we actually did our own financing for students for a long time. And so it was a long road, but it was a wonderful one. It pushes you to really, really define who you are as a school. And I love it.
Does the accreditation go across state lines, or did you have to reapply to be able to offer it in Dallas as well?
You know, they do something that it's called like a branch office. You can add schools. They still have to come and visit. They still have to go through your files and you still have to go through a bunch of stuff, but it is a bit easier. You don't have to start like a whole process all over again.
Okay. Was it different going from Vegas to Dallas, those two different markets? I know the aesthetic too,
Yeah.
even with the makeup, is totally different in Texas than it is like on the West Coast.
Oh yeah, it is. It is very different. You know, Vegas is glitz and glamour. Every girl has lashes. Everybody's 100 there with their makeup. It is like everybody is full on. Here it's a little more natural.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as dramatic, but I love it, you know. So we're coming in and we're glamming it up out here, I would say.
Yeah. I love that. Have you ever played Never Have I Ever before? It's like a game that people play. It's like a drinking game.
Oh no, I watch a lot of reality shows, so I'm a reality junkie. I I'm so busy with work, so that's like my thing. I just love it. And so a lot of the reality shows that I have seen play that game.
Okay. Well, I have a different version on the podcast where I'll give you a never have I ever statement. And if you have done it before, I want you to share the story behind it. But if not, then share your advice for how to overcome this. Like if another makeup artist does this, like what they should do.
Okay.
Okay. So my never have I ever statement for you is never have I ever gone to a big makeup job with a celebrity and left something essential from my kit at home. Have you ever done that before? Like left something that you really, really needed? Hey, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I have something to tell you real quick. Did you know that I created a Patreon? Look, podcasting is fun. I absolutely love it, but it is not cheap. And there have been so many people who have reached out to me that want to support the show somehow and keep the good vibes flowing. So I thought, why not create a Patreon? For as little as $3 a month, you can support the Friends of Beauty podcast and join a community of other loyal supporters of the show, just like you, okay? There are other tier levels available that unlock tons of exclusive Patreon-only content like behind-the-scenes clips, bonus interview content, monthly calls with me, discounts, and so much more. But no matter what tier level you decide to choose, I appreciate you so much, and I'm going to give you a shout out on the podcast when you join. So if you'd like to be a part of the exclusive Patreon community for the Friends of Beauty podcast, I'll leave the link right here and down below in the show notes for you to join. And as always, I appreciate your support so, so much. Now, let's go ahead and jump back into the episode.
No.
No? Ooh, good for you. What advice would you give to somebody who has done that? Like, say they left maybe their foundation palette at home.
Just say bye. Just say bye. Just like, bye, never see you again, mourn the loss and move on. Because, and it's, you know, if it's a celebrity or somebody big like that, don't, just walk away. You know, if it's a client that you just did, that might be different, but I would say no, just let it go.
Just let it go.
Yeah, it's a lesson learned. I bet you won't leave it again the next time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know I left something at home one time, but I think I still figured it out because I have like multiple.
Oh wait, you left it at home or you left it at the client's when you did the client?
I left it at home.
Oh, okay. Forget what I said because I thought you meant like you left it at the client. Like a big product like foundation, you said?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So
is this happening? Like, do you realize it on the way to do the client?
Like you're already there, you're pulling out your stuff, like, oh my God, I forgot to put the foundation palette back in the kit.
You ask them for theirs if they have one, or you say, you know what, I'm gonna run to the bathroom, and you run to the gift shop and see what they have.
Yeah.
You just make it happen. You know, me, I probably would have had my own makeup bag, so I always have something, like some kind of foundation. I would pull out what I have and just pray that their skin tone is the same.
Right. Get to mix up some things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you just go to the gift shop, get that cover girl, whatever they got there, and you just make it happen.
Yep,
Yeah.
I like that. What do you think are some unspoken, mm, maybe unspoken rules or character traits that makeup artists must carry with them to be successful?
I think the biggest character trait is that you have to go out and get business. You have to be ambitious.
Mhm.
You can't wait around for it to come to you, especially as a makeup artist.
Yeah.
You really have to create your destiny. And so I think people need to realize that if you want to do freelance, if you want to be a makeup artist, that's like running your own business.
Mhm.
So that means that there's a lot that goes along with running your own business, which
Yeah.
finding your clients, which means marketing yourself, which means promoting yourself and being consistent. So that's what I would say is ambition and going out and getting it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. If someone's new to the beauty industry, what are some things they should be focusing on business wise? Because it's well known that us creatives, that we just want to be creative, and the business side is one thing that kind of takes a hit because we just want to be painting faces or doing the photography or modeling.
Yeah.
But business wise, what should they have like set up or focus on when they're first getting started?
Well, I think that you need to be open to doing retail. I think I get a lot of graduates who are like, I'm not doing brides. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Well, you cannot really make those decisions yet until you've already established a clientele, and then you can decide what type of makeup you want to do or who you want to work on.
Mhm.
First, have to put in the time and, you know, start building your clientele before you can make those decisions. And I think it's a good start to work in retail, even though I know it's retail focused. There's just different aspects of working at a makeup counter. You know, the cashier is the cashier and the makeup artist is the makeup artist.
Yeah.
And so gaining that knowledge and experience at first, however you can get it, is so important.
Mhm.
And just work on anybody you can. Do not turn anything down, because to me, there's no such thing as free work when you're gaining knowledge.
Mhm.
It's, I'm working on you to gain knowledge, to gain experience, to put on my resume. And so just don't turn anything down.
Yeah, I always tell people try a little bit of everything because with trying a little bit of everything, I can absolutely tell you what I do not like doing
Yeah,
and what I don't want to do anymore. So, and that's only because I've tried it and I'm like, well, yeah, that's not for me.
right. I think that's great advice. I just think you can't start, being picky and turning anybody away.
Hmm.
Because at first, I just think you do have to give everything a shot and gain that knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. In what ways have you seen the beauty industry change, like good or bad, over like the last 25 years?
I think good. I think I'm grateful to social media, honestly. I think because of social media, it's exposed makeup artists, talents, and it's really just, I mean, it's made such an impact
Hmm.
on everybody on the world. I think if it wasn't for that, I don't know if people would know all the amazing things that makeup artists can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think for the good, I think it's been great.
Yeah. Do your students have like I don't know what it's called, but what's the biggest misconception you think your students have when they're entering the beauty industry? I know they think it's like all fun until they get to the classroom. They're like, oh my gosh, I actually have to like do this thing. But what are some other ones that people they just don't know what goes into the industry until they're actually like in
Well, I would say a huge one is that to be a makeup artist, you have to like to talk to people.
it?
You have to be outgoing and sociable.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that come to our school, or some people that are very introverted.
Yeah.
And so that's very hard. We are a social business.
Mhm.
We interact with people, and you have to feel comfortable engaging with others.
Mhm.
So if you're socially awkward, or if you're introverted, or if you don't feel comfortable and you're shy, you have to come out of that shell because you won't be successful.
Yeah. That's the sad truth. There are a lot of introverted creatives out here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I could turn it on. I don't think I'm introverted. I think I turn it on and off because I definitely love being around people, but then I have my moments where I'm like, I need to go inside and be alone. But I enjoy meeting new clients and talking to them. I just love it.
But we all know that when you're a makeup artist, you're also a little bit of a therapist too, right? Counselor, you're there to listen to your clients. And when you develop these relationships with them and you see them consistently, they're going to want to talk to you. They're going to feel like you're their friend, sometimes like your family. I mean, so it's important to have that personality because 9 out of 10 times, that's why they keep calling you back because they like you.
Yeah, absolutely. How did the pandemic affect your business or affect the school and like going forward the way that you teach? Because I feel like I stopped teaching at the school that I was at right before the pandemic happened, and they haven't started back up with the makeup classes. I'm thinking because they can't really figure out how to work around, the restrictions and the mask and all that stuff that was going on. But how did it affect you in like the way that you move forward with providing education for your students?
Well, it was definitely hard to kind of navigate through that whole situation. And, we had to close down like a lot of people did. We did try and transition into doing online. So we had all of our current students that were enrolled. We sent them all Chromebooks. We created an online portal and we started to do the classes online and it was a nightmare. I'm not kidding. And like high schools were doing the same thing, right? Everyone was doing online learning. And I think that you saw in a lot of high schools, you heard the statistics were that these students just weren't engaged. They didn't like it. A lot of people became depressed. Like all these things started happening. Well, the same thing for makeup. It did not work. I mean, we have such great instructors. They're just like my family. I mean, we love and support each other, and they're so passionate about what we do and what they teach. So they came in, they were in a room by themselves and they had a model and they worked, did the classes online with the students. Girl, we couldn't even get students to get out of bed. Some of them would be like in bed, like with their blankets, like all up.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, get out of bed. It just didn't work. It didn't work. We had, for the hair class, we sent everybody the mannequins with the stands. It was not successful. So we stopped that and we waited until everybody was allowed to come back in. Now, what I will say that's been a good thing that has happened is we do require now all of our artists when they work on a model to wear a mask. And when you're in such close proximity, we both know like it's just good practice.
Yeah.
Good hygiene just to wear a mask because not COVID, but if you have a cold. So I'm really happy about that. We've always been uber sensitive about sanitation even before COVID. So that really hasn't made a difference for us. And we send people home if they come in with a dirty brush or, we write them up, all that stuff. We take it seriously. Yeah.
Like maybe I should have been writing people up because that's one thing I would always tell my students: do not come in here with dirty brushes. And they would still come in there with dirty brushes and be cleaning like right before class. Because I just wanted them to treat it as though like you're going to a client. You can't be cleaning your brushes in front of your client like that. So like come in here the same way.
You send them home. They get the picture when you do that. But then there were students that wanted to go home, so they just, you get all kinds of students. But the lesson learned is, we definitely, the one thing that I do think that was good that was incorporated was the mask when you work on, a client.
And I love that because I still wear my mask now when I have clients, even though the mask restrictions and stuff have been lifted. But I just cannot imagine why I wasn't wearing one to begin with. Like now that I'm wearing one, I'm like, how was I this close to somebody's face with no mask on?
For real. I feel the same way. I'm like, what were we thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think is the best part of what you do? Like, what do you enjoy the most?
I enjoy interacting with the students, and that's my favorite thing. I love seeing their faces and their personalities, and they're so happy. And even, the students that have tough days, it's, just making some kind of an impact in someone's life and then seeing them be successful.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most rewarding thing. And so I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. What do you want your legacy to be for yourself or L Makeup Institute?
Oh my goodness. I just want it to be somebody who was an advocate for makeup artists, who believed in makeup artists and understood that it was his own career. And so that's all. I'm just here not only to support students, but to support the makeup artist community.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell them, we're here for you. You want to offer a workshop, you can use our room, offer a master class. You need to hire some of our graduates to help you become busier and assist you, let me know. So, I'm always trying to get them to, support the makeup artist industry, but it is hard because makeup artists are cutthroat too. I'm just going to say that's not the easiest to do, is to unite that community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about. There's enough work for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's next for you, or what's next for L Makeup Institute? Anything coming up?
Yes, so definitely my brush cleaner line, Brush Cleanse, that will be coming out soon and hopefully available on our Instagram. Through Instagram you can purchase it. So we're working on that. It should be out by next month.
Okay.
So working on a textbook for the school, and maybe that will come out at some point in time.
I think that is just so amazing. A textbook for makeup artists. I love it.
Yes. And we are working on our own podcast.
Oh, yay.
So we are going to have our podcast, L Makeup Unfiltered. So we are going to be talking about a lot of things that go on that we aren't able to talk about at school, but that we can talk about outside the school. And so we're really excited about that.
That is very exciting. I absolutely love podcasting because I get to meet people like you and just talk, and I can't wait for that. I can't wait to tune in.
Yeah, well, this has been such an honor for me to be on your podcast and to learn from you. So I appreciate it. You just have such a beautiful smile, such a beautiful energy about you. So, I know you're going to be so successful.
Thank you so much. This has been great. Before I let you go, though, I have to ask you the Friends in Beauty rapid fire questions.
Okay.
And somebody said earlier, they're not so rapid. I got to think about these. I got to think about these answers, but I think you'll be great.
Okay.
All right. So the first one, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
Top 3 keys, determination, resilience, and 3 keys to my success. Patience, kind of all the same. Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. And how do you measure your success?
I measure my success by the success of my team and by the success of my graduates.
Okay. And what's the best advice you've ever received, or a piece of advice that's just always stuck with you?
Piece of advice that's always stuck with me. Well, I don't know, you've got to believe in it. I would say that, because if you don't believe in it, nobody else will. So the moment that you don't believe in what you're doing or in yourself, then you're out. Nobody will believe in you. So you got to be your own advocate and your own believer.
Absolutely. What's a piece of advice you will offer to another makeup artist right now who is just not seeing the results that they want to see in their business, and they're just like, it might just be time for me to go get a job, tap out?
I say that never say never, because sometimes you may need a break and you may need to focus on something else for a minute, but don't ever give up on it. Maybe you just need to revisit it. Sometimes you got to walk away to realize how good it was.
Mhm.
or how good it is. So I would say that would be my piece of advice. It's okay to take a break because sometimes it'll make you realize how important it is what you're doing.
Okay. What's a resource that helps you in your business that you can share with the Friends in Beauty community?
A resource that helps me in my business that I could share. I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know if there's a resource, but I definitely think that you need to surround yourself with people that support you and love you and believe in you. I think that's everything. And I think that you need to have faith in whatever it may be. I think that if you have faith and you're a spiritual person, I think that helps guide you as well.
Yeah.
So I think those factors will help you be great in life. And yeah, that's it.
All right. And the last one, I just want you to fill in the blank and just say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success in the beauty industry is whatever you think it is.
Oh my gosh. My name is Lissette Waugh, and I think the key to success is passion.
Ooh, passion. Gotta be passion.
Gotta have passion, whatever you do.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Before you go, share your social media information or however you want people to connect with you and Elle Makeup Institute.
I would love for everybody to connect. Just follow us on our Instagram page at Elle Makeup Institute. You can see who we are, what we're all about. So I would just say go to our IG page at Elle Makeup Institute. And if you're interested in any classes or education, you can always follow us and go to our website at Elle Makeup Institute or LMI.com.
Yay. Thank you so much, Lissette, for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yay.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.